What is up, my fellow weirdos, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tawny Michelle. If you are new to the channel, basically we're weirdos over here. We are not all love, light, unicorns, and twin flames over here. We do keep it real. Anyways, you guys, welcome to Aquarius season, and welcome to the Aquarius season all signs video, where we talk about what this month is going to be like, why this month is another big deal. And I'm really feeling the Aquarian vibes. If you can't tell, because I'm an Aquarius moon, I'm just freaking awkward. So yeah, and then we are going to go over sign by sign and just generally speaking talk about what is going down in your town for your individual sign. Just remember, rising signs will resonate most. But first, we're going to talk about how this energy of Aquarius is affecting us as a collective. So first off, there's one thing that you need to know about Aquarius season. Aquarius season is the start of getting out of the realm of reality, getting out of the realm of the norm, okay? Once we get past Capricorn and into Aquarius, we are now entering other realms. We are now entering the weirdo section of the Zodiac, okay? Because after Aquarius comes Pisces. That's just self-explanatory. So we are now entering into other dimensions, basically. And really, if you think about it, you know, we've went through the darkest time of the year, Capricorn, here in the northern hemisphere. It's the winter solstice. We've went through that dark time of the year where we've had to shed old beings of who we used to be, where we've had to literally get vulnerable, where we've had to bare ourselves naked for the world to see in many different ways. Obviously, that's a metaphor. But yeah, so now that we are moving into Aquarius season, you reach a level of understanding and connection that you hadn't felt in the previous months, if that makes sense. And then once we get into Pisces, that is like the spirituality part of it, the letting go, the self-undoing, becoming nothingness, and all of that jazz. So we can expect huge shifts this month. There's going to be a lot of eccentricity, a lot of electricity, and Aquarius is already the sign of all of that. It is already the sign of a rebel with a cause, okay? It is already the sign of thinking outside of the box and being weird, being abnormal, being somewhat detached, things that other people don't necessarily look at on a day-to-day basis. Also, technology and higher forms of technology, like both of my vapes have broken, all of my chargers are not working properly. Like, there's just been a lot of technical difficulties here with me lately, so I don't know if any of you guys are experiencing that as well. But we're just going through a huge energy shift. That is how I am reading this energy for this month. It's a huge energy shift. It's a huge wake-up call. It's asking us to step into this new person of what we can become, this new life of what we can become, because of all of the darkness and all of the shadow work and all of the vulnerabilities and all of the hard, intense and dense karmic cycles that we were just ending in Capricorn season. And Aquarius is kind of like, let's step out of that. Let's reevaluate, because we do have a Mercury retrograde this month. I know it's like already time for Mercury retrograde again. But other than that, there's going to be a lot of forward moving energy. So our minds are going to be a little discombobulated, and we are going to be thinking a lot. We are going to be reevaluating a lot. But at the same time, the energy around us is going to feel like it's moving forward. And so this tells me a lot of us may feel like we are backtracking in a sense, like everything around us is moving forward, but we are having to think twice. We are having to go back and re-examine and re-look at our decision, what it is that we truly, truly, truly want to do. Because this is finally the first newer energy of the new year, because Capricorn season was still dealing with all of that old energy, but Aquarius is kind of stepping into this new energy. This is where I feel like we are almost on the examining table, just going through a major energetic upgrade. That's like the best way that I can explain it. That's kind of what I've been channeling lately. So we are getting to know our new selves, and we are getting a glimpse of what the future can look like, what the next decade can look like, and what the new age is going to be bringing. Because at the end of the year, we do have that huge event happening with Saturn and Jupiter moving into Aquarius, where it will start the new age. So all of this attention in Aquarius is very important right now. We are thinking about our future. We are thinking about what is best for our future and what is also best for everybody else. We are thinking more about the collective. We are thinking more about the environment. We are thinking more out of the box and technically than we normally would. So the first few weeks of February, you want to really make sure that you are paying attention, because this is when Mercury will enter its shadow period, okay? Mercury will officially be retrograding, meaning appearing to be going backwards on the 16th of February. So the couple weeks before the 16th of February is when it's going to be in its shadow period. So these are the few weeks, the first half of February, where you really want to pay attention. Anything that you start, any big decisions that you make, anything that you do in those first few weeks, you likely will have to go back and re-look at them. This could also bring up energy that happened last year around this time, but more in March, okay? Because last year we had a Mercury retrograde in March in Pisces as well, because Mercury is retrograding in Pisces, but it will move back into Aquarius, but not until March, okay? So you may see some themes getting brought up from March of last year. So you really want to pay attention to these first couple weeks in February. If you need to sign any contracts, if you need to make any deals, if you need to do anything big, taxes, I would do it before February. If you're watching this before February, I would really take care of those things before that time, because if you do it in the first couple weeks of February, chances are you may have missed something, or you may have to redo it, or something may happen. There may be some kind of miscommunication. Not that that's like that serious. Trust yourself, do what you have to do. I get it. People have lives. They can't base their lives around what the planets are doing in the sky. I understand that. I'm just an astrological nerd, and I'm just warning you that basically you may have to go back and redo it if you wait until the first couple weeks of February, or even during the Mercury retrograde. So as far as relationships go this month, Venus is going to be in its opposite sign of Aries. It's not very comfortable here, because Venus likes harmony, it likes connection, it's all about relationships, and Aries is very like individual, like this is me, if you don't like it, deal with it, I'm not compromising, you know. Relationship wise, we're going to be feeling like we need to find our own worth first before we can worry about what we're worth to other people. We need to find the confidence within ourselves first. We need to find the warrior within ourselves first before we can start looking for somebody else. And then later on in February, Venus is going to make some challenging aspects to all of the shit show going on over in Capricorn. Basically, there could be some power struggles, power dynamics that come up in relationships. Your own individual desires may somehow conflict with your idea of your path, or the path that you're going on with this person. So that's definitely something that we're going to feel on a collective level as well. So other than the moon events, which I will do individual videos for when it gets closer to those events, but other than the moon events, we will have Mars entering Capricorn the same day that Mercury goes retrograde on February 16th. Now this is a big deal because Mars is the ruler of Aries, the traditional ruler of Scorpio. It is about individuality, it is about assertiveness, it is about our confidence, it is about our pride and our drive and, you know, our masculine energy within all of us. And Mars is going to be entering the shit show going on in Capricorn. And so Mars is going to be going over the South Node. This could definitely bring up some old confrontations or some old confidence, assertion, aggression issues, some old anger issues from the past, some old conflicts that need to be addressed and put to bed. And then also Mars will be going over Jupiter. So we may be feeling a lot of energy, a lot of confidence, a lot of optimism, which is great. But because of that Mercury retrograde and because of Mars on Jupiter, this tells me it is not a good time. This is not a good month, towards the end of the month especially, to take any big risk, to gamble. And I'm not just talking about like at a casino, but just to gamble in any way with your life, or with big decisions. It's just not the kind of month for that. And eventually Mars will meet up with Saturn and Pluto. I'm not going to lie to you, this is not going to be fun. This is going to create a lot of power struggles, probably a lot of drama, probably a lot of people that are angry and feel like they have a reason to be angry. It's going to create abuse of power. And this is what we all have to watch out for towards the end of February, because once Mars goes over Saturn and Pluto, those are the themes that we will see. and any kind of abuse of power will not be tolerated, okay? It will not be tolerated. Likely the collective will know about it because of the Mercury retrograde moving back into Aquarius, which is the sign of the collective, groups of people and humanity. Just watch your power, okay? You may start feeling very powerful, you may start feeling very confident, or you could start feeling like suppressed in some way or restricted in some way, and you could feel like someone else has the power. And if you are in that situation, this is happening to bring the power out of you. This is happening to show you how to step into your power. But because Saturn is there, this is doing it in a way that is responsible. This is doing it in a way that is mature. This is not kid games. This is not being immature about it or abusing your power, because with Saturn there will be consequences to those that do abuse their power. So this is a big deal, and I really want you guys to watch out for that. So yeah, because of all of this eccentric and shifting energy this month, there could be a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear that comes up, but that Mercury retrograde is going to help us address it. It is going to reevaluate what's good for the collective, what's good for our spiritual purpose, what's good for our spiritual being on this planet and our spirituality in general, because it starts in Pisces and then moves back to Aquarius. So I do feel like we are reevaluating what is good for humanity on a spiritual level and what is good in our own individual lives on a spiritual level. And whatever has been holding you back has likely been shown. And so this month could be a month that really does liberate us from things by showing us where certain issues are that we may still be attached to, or that are holding us back from our greater good or our greater purpose, if that makes sense. So that is all I have to say about, the collective and what's happening with the energy as far as the collective goes. So now we are going to move into each sign and how this month is going to affect each sign. We're just going to go over the biggest themes, because I do individual videos for each sign and individual readings where I go into a lot more detail. So stay tuned for that. Make sure your notifications are on, and let's go ahead and get into it. What is going on, Aquarius? So what I feel is going on with you guys for February, just from looking at the astrology, I feel like you guys are going to deal with a lot of repressed anger that you have been holding back, and also dealing with ways in which you have dimmed your light to make other people happy. You are being shown this month, Aquarius, where it is that you have not been true to your own worth or your own value or your own sense of self. Where it is that you are having to almost dim to fit in a way, and which is not normally like you. What I feel may happen is you are going to possibly have this buildup of anger, and you're not really 100% sure where it's coming from, or this buildup of stress, and you may not be able to pinpoint it because it's subconscious, and it has to do with stepping into who you are in your true being this month. Because we have that Leo full moon in your 7th house, this is telling me that there's going to be some tying up loose ends to do with your relationships, to do with other people. And with Uranus in your 4th house and aspecting that Aquarius new moon that we had in the end of January, this is really kind of shaking you free of issues with family, your home situations, or just people that are like family to you, like close relationships to you, have caused anxiety and stress in your life. And it's really showing you this, I feel, to help you express your own individuality, to help you assert yourself in a situation, and to see your own worth, because that Mercury retrograde is happening in the sign right after yours of Pisces, which is all about your self-worth, which is all about your talents, your gifts, your possessions, and your income. This is really reevaluating your income, what you possess, and what you would like to do in the future with those things. If you want to own a home, or if you want to move, or if you want to get a new car, or if you need to work on some self-worth stuff, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, you are reevaluating. And so I feel like you're breaking free from anything that's been holding you down or back this month. You guys definitely are going through a major energy upgrade. You're going through your solar return if you're an Aquarius sun. If you're an Aquarius rising, even more so, this energy is focused on your self-expression, your appearance. It's probably not a good month to change your appearance if you are thinking about it, just because with that Mercury retrograde, you may end up regretting it. So I would maybe either do it before the Mercury retrograde on the 16th or after the Mercury retrograde in March. Okay, so later on in March. But yeah, I feel like you are being shown the places. I feel like you've already been shown the places where you feel restricted, but if you haven't done anything about them, Mars is going to come in your 12th house and be like, it's time to go. I'm done. So I feel like you're going to be shown where it is that you need to be liberated, where it is that you need to break free, where it is that you don't feel free. And whatever is not aligned with your path will become very irritated and very frustrating for you. And the universe is like really just shifting your reality and showing you what needs to be adjusted. And it's also preparing you big time for Saturn to enter your sign, which happens next month in March, okay? And it's going to be in there for a few months, giving you a preview of what's going to come the next 3 years. So this is a really important time for you. So get prepared, focus on you right now, you guys. If you have passions about helping other people, that's fine. But where in your life are you not being you? Where in your life do you not feel free? Those are the things that are going to come up for you guys this month. So that is what I have right now for you guys, Aquarius. We will talk more about it in your monthly reading, and we are going to move on to Leo. What is going on, Leo? And welcome to your February short-term prediction, when we go over the main things that are coming for you guys in February 2020. And we are also going to talk about more of this in your individual video for February, so make sure your notifications are on for that. So this is going to be a big month for us. This is a month where we are really going to be focused on our relationships and where we feel we need more freedom, more eccentricity, more spontaneity in our relationships, because Aquarius is our 7th house space. If you are a Leo rising, if you're not a Leo rising, make sure you watch your rising sign, because that should resonate more for you, but you still may resonate to some of this as well. But basically, you're going to be asking yourself what it is that you want to do in terms of your friends, in terms of your connections, in terms of your relationships. What's better for the collective? What can you do that can contribute to the collective in some way? The Mercury retrograde is happening in our 8th house of other people's money, other people's resources, other people's finances. So chances are that this month sometime, Leo, you will be focused on those things. So if you have loans, if you get assistance, if you are in any way dealing with money that comes from other people or the government or whatever, taxes even, there could be something that comes up around that you have to readdress, that you may have already thought you addressed, or something along those lines that you have to reevaluate in some way. Also, there could be some shifts to do with your career, some unexpected shifts that come up in the career life. And then also Mars is going to be in our 6th house of Capricorn. So this is going to be really putting a focus and a drive and a sense of urgency or impatience when it comes to our work life, our work environment, coworkers, clients, and then also our health and day-to-day life. So we may feel a little frustrated, we may be racing through life, and so it's really important to try to slow down. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of energy upgrades and major shifts for us this month to do with our life path and our long-term goals and our work environment, and possibly even potential enemies, okay? There could also be power struggles with authority or people in authority, so make sure that you are paying attention to that. Make sure that you try not to engage in that this month. It's just not a good month for that. But yeah, so the focus is really on our relationships with people and establishing a new version of ourselves and being more of a humanitarian towards people. It's really also about learning about ourselves from other people, letting other people teach us about ourselves. This is also where you really start possibly thinking about the long term with your relationships, because Saturn is getting ready to enter Aquarius in March, which is our relationship sector, and so everything's going to change at that point. There's going to be more of a focus on mature and long-term relationships rather than, hit it and quit it or friends with benefits. Like, we're going to be a little bit more looking for something solid that has a strong foundation, someone that is mature. If you haven't seen my 2020 predictions that I just uploaded before this video, where I went over the 2020 predictions for each sign, definitely go watch that, because this is a huge year for relationships for Leos. So I would definitely go check that out, because I talked a lot more in detail about that. But anyways, this is also business partnerships or financial relationships, and the higher meaning and purpose of what you're on this planet to do, or what you feel like you're on this planet to do. So that is basically what I am seeing for Leos for the month of February, and I will see you guys in your February 2020 reading. What is going on, my lovely Pisces? And so this is your short little prediction for February 2020. And yeah, and we're going to do a whole reading and a whole video for this where we go into more detail. But for now, I will tell you that February 2020 may bring up a lot of kind of weird events for you, because Aquarius is your 12th house. So this is a space that is very kind of out there. This is a space that is it's associated with self-undoing, escapism, our dreams, our subconscious, anywhere where you feel isolated. So hospitals, retreats, institutions. So you could see a theme in some of those areas of life coming up this month. But this could also be very synchronistic. Like, you could be seeing a lot of weird signs, a lot of just really weird coincidences or synchronistic events that feel to be getting your attention. Now, I feel like this is also going to have you making some changes and shifts in your friend circles and in your environments, and also understanding what is going on behind the scenes. So you may feel a little bit tired or stressed, or there may be some power struggles or power dynamic issues when it comes to your friends or groups of friends, or just groups of people in some way. So if you participate in some kind of like club or, I don't know, class or something, there could be some issues there where there's some conflict because of Mars and Capricorn in that 11th house space for you. But this is really going to have you reevaluating who you are, Pisces, and you could get involved in some kind of cause, or possibly bringing something to light in some way. Also, there could be some issues with organizations, and your values and worth is really coming to the forefront and being put into question. So you may feel as if you're not being heard or listened to. And Mercury retrograde is happening in your sign for the month of February. So it's not a good time to start anything new. Definitely not a good time to change your appearance if you're thinking about it. Now, if you're wanting to go back and redo something, okay, that's Mercury can deal with redoing something, so that's fine. But if you're wanting to make like a bold move, you know what I mean, I would wait till after the Mercury retrograde, because you may be like, oh my God, why did I do that? Or it may not turn out the way you thought it was going to. Like, just, I would definitely wait if you're trying to change your appearance in any way. And this could bring up some things from last year around your birthday month, around March, because Mercury retrograded last year with Neptune as well. And so this could definitely bring up some themes from that time period last year. But anyways, pay attention to the first couple weeks of February, because this is going to kind of be a preview of what your Mercury retrograde is going to be about for you, Pisces. So yeah, that is basically everything that I have for you guys right now. I will go into a lot more detail in your reading, and we are going to move on to Aries. What is going on, Aries, and welcome to your short preview of February 2020 and the predictions that I feel are going to happen for you guys in February. So what I wrote down here is that, first off, you want to pay attention to the first couple weeks of February, because this is going to be kind of like a short preview of what is going to happen during this Mercury retrograde that happens halfway through February and will continue into like halfway through March. So you really want to pay attention, because these first couple weeks of February, you're going to be replaying and revisiting for the next month. So you may feel like you are being pulled more and more inward to reevaluate something going on within you or subconsciously this month. You may feel a bit isolated, or there may be some power struggles or dynamics in your career life or with authority figures. Your subconscious is trying to have some kind of chat with you this month, I feel. So you really want to think before you act, or it could likely backfire with unforeseen circumstances. but Venus is going to be in your sign. And so this is going to be really asking you to seek harmony and worth in your endeavors and with your transactions with other people and situations. It could also be a great time to get creative, get artistic, tap into an old hobby, really kind of work on your body, work on getting in shape, work on your appearance. Now, I wouldn't make any drastic changes during the Mercury retrograde, but I mean, you can, like, I don't know, try out a new makeup routine or try on a new look, you know, whatever. So yeah, this would be a good month to kind of stay to yourself, even though Aquarius is your 11th house. So there is kind of like this desire to be around other people and to be around friends. But that Mercury retrograde is kind of like, it's kind of having you think twice about things, possibly even friends in your life. So you may notice that there's some old issues that come back up with friends, or that there's some issues that you didn't know about that come back up with friends. So this is definitely a time where you're kind of really being pulled inward, I feel. So just try to keep that in mind. So that is what I'm getting so far for you, Aries. We will go into a lot more detail in your guys' February 2020 reading. And I am so sorry I did not get to your reading in January. It was an insane month, but I will get to it this month. You guys will be one of the first that gets uploaded. So please forgive me. And yeah, we're going to move on to Taurus, who I also did not get to last month. What is going on, Taurus? And we are going to go over your February 2020 preview. So what I feel is happening for you guys this month, Taurus, is you are really kind of rethinking your path. You are really kind of rethinking your decisions, your friends, your social circles. You may feel under pressure or stress to make like quick, immediate changes that may even shock or surprise yourself or other people. And if you're going to do it, I do it before February, or at the least before February 16th. If you literally cannot do it before February, just because of that Mercury retrograde, because whatever you do the first couple weeks of February will circle back around, because you will have to address them again for some reason or another, because that is what Mercury retrograde does. So your focus seems to be on unconventional beauty and unconventional worth. You are really looking into unique ways of doing things, unique ways of expressing the beauty within, unique ways of expressing yourself and expressing your worth. And you may also run into this like kind of question of, do I want to please the world and society, or do I want to please myself? I feel like that could also be a big one coming up this month. So this may challenge you to show the world the real you with like no fucks given. And I don't really see a problem with it, as long as you're not making any huge risk, like big first steps. Like if you're redoing something, that's fine, or if you've already had this in motion, that's fine. But as long as you're not making any big first steps for the first time, that is cool, just because of that Mercury retrograde. So just don't forget about that. Alrighty, and I'm so sorry I did not get to your guys' reading last month, Taurus. It was an insane month, and next thing I knew, it was already over halfway through the month, and it just kind of felt pointless to do it by that time. So I am going to do you guys as one of the first signs this month, so make sure you keep a lookout, and I'm really sorry about that. But we are going to move on to Gemini. So Gemini, what I see happening for you guys this month is, I feel like this is going to be really showing you where you are about to have some major breakthroughs, because there's some major energy coming up for you guys this year in particular. If you haven't seen my 2020 predictions video for each sign, I would definitely go watch that, because I talked a lot more in depth about it for you guys. But I really see this month bringing up any issues that have not yet been resolved with this transit you've been going through in your 8th house of Capricorn, which is a difficult house. It deals with other people's money, other people's resources, taxes, loans, investments, inheritances. It also deals with the government. It deals with the occult, and it deals with trauma and fear and death and rebirth and mortality. And so you've been really dealing with these themes for a few years now, you know? And so what I will tell you right off the bat, because Mars is going to be stepping into your 8th house, and because of the Mercury retrograde, if you need to get any big surgeries, or if you're planning on getting any surgeries, that can be scheduled. Obviously if it's like a life or death situation, get the surgery. But if you can schedule it, I would either try to do it before February if you're watching this before February, or I would do it after the Mercury retrograde in March if you can, or at least before the Mercury retrograde actually retrogrades on February 16th, if that makes sense. But Mars does rule surgery, the 8th house does rule surgery, and so that's why I'm bringing that up. And it would probably be fine if it wasn't for this Mercury retrograde. That's the only thing that kind of can make it a little wonky, deal with some misinformation or miscommunication somehow. So but if there is a chance where you do have to get some kind of surgery, you want to make sure that you are being very clear, that everything is scheduled right, that you are double checking and all of that. So because Mercury really just deals with the communication aspect of it, the messenger aspect of it, so there could just be like, I don't know, something wrong with scheduling or something that is a little bit that is miscommunicated or in some way. So that's why I'm saying that. So I don't want you guys to like get scared or anything if you do have to get a surgery. But yeah, so financial matters have definitely become more clear for you guys with all this energy that we had in Capricorn season. But yeah, there could be some unexpected health issues that pop up this month that need to be addressed, or some unexpected financial issues that force you to somewhat withdraw a little bit in some way. Mars had brought up things to do with your relationships because Mars was in your opposite sign of Sagittarius. Remember, this is going to resonate more if you're a Gemini rising. So Mars probably brought up some unexpected things to do with your relationships or your significant relationships in your life. Possibly also just some conflict to do with your day-to-day life, your routines, or even just small animals and pets, because the 6th house can rule that as well, because Mars does rule your 6th house. But basically, once Mars moves into Capricorn, this is your 8th house, so it could bring a little bit of stress to taxes, or could bring up some fears or some issues around your partner's finances or resources. It could also bring up some power struggles there with a partner if you are in a committed relationship. And this would be happening to kind of mirror something that's going on in you. So maybe you're not standing up for yourself in some way, or maybe you're not expressing yourself in some way and asserting yourself in some way. So that is kind of why that would happen. So you may not exactly get clear answers this month just because Mercury is retrograding, and it's retrograding right on top of Neptune in your 10th house. But you are possibly going to be rethinking your job, your life direction, and your path. So be careful of accidents or clumsiness. And there could be like a focus on mortality this month just because of that heavy 8th house energy. So yeah, like I said, you may not get clear answers this month right off the bat to something you've been looking for or wondering about with your life path or your direction, or fears that you've had that you've been trying to work on. But you will by the end of this Mercury retrograde. So this Mercury retrograde is going to be a great kind of reevaluation period for you, where you can reevaluate what it is that you want to do in life, what it is that you're being called to do. And then eventually it's going to move back into your 9th house, where it's going to be reevaluating the way that you see the world and your beliefs about things. So that is what I see for you guys, Gemini. I know it doesn't sound like all that, but this is just kind of a brief description. We're going to go into a lot more in your videos, so make sure your notifications are turned on so you don't miss that. And we are going to move on to Cancer. What is going on, Cancer? And so what I see for you guys briefly for February 2020 is I feel like this month is really going to put your relationships in the forefront. They've already been in the forefront, but this is going to require you, or going to kind of make you feel at least like you need to take action, like you need to assert yourself in a situation, because if not, your partnerships or your relationships, the significant relationships that you have in your life may feel bossy, they may feel overpowering, they may feel demanding. And so this is happening. If this does happen, this is telling you that there's a situation in which you need to assert yourself that you're not. So it's being expressed outside of you in someone else, basically. So when this happens, you know, when Mars goes through your opposite sign, if you don't start asserting yourself or taking action in certain situations to do with your relationships, your partner can start seeming frustrated or stressed or bossy or demanding or controlling or just confrontational, because it's like kind of forcing you to step into that Martian energy, if that makes sense. So that's what can sometimes happen. But This is going to be really seeing and acting on the changes that need to be made in relationships and business partnerships, no longer putting them off anymore. So there could be some power struggles or power dynamics that are brought to the surface, and your partner or your significant relationships may become seemingly a little bit ruthless in order to pull it out of you, in order to pull that energy out of you, to stand up for yourself or to put your foot down, to say something, to do something, to assert yourself. So this is going to be also about rethinking your beliefs and your worldviews and what you really believe in the world and spiritually, what resonates with you. And this could also be unexpected events to do with friends or to do with, gaining something, desires, creativity, and harmony in your career life could be very prevalent this month, and possibly even an unexpected boost in popularity or an unexpected event with friends or business partnerships that comes up this month as well. I feel that for you guys too. But Mercury is going to be retrograding in Pisces, which is your 9th house. So it's probably not a great month to travel just because of that. Mercury retrograde, everybody knows it's just not a time to travel because there's miscommunication and delays and all of that. And so if you can help it, probably not a great month to travel. So just keep that in mind. But those are the brief summaries of what I am seeing for you this month so far, Cancer. And like always, we will go more into it in your monthly reading. So now we are going to move on to Virgo. What is going on, Virgo? And let's go ahead and go over your brief summary of what I see for you guys for the month of February 2020. So what I see so far with you guys, Virgo, is there could be some habits with your health or even subconscious habits and health issues that get brought to the surface because they've been kind of getting in your way somehow, or getting in your way in your everyday life or your day-to-day routines. And so they come up in order for you to reevaluate and fix them. And so you can improve your day-to-day life, your work life, your schedules, and your routines. So there could also be unexpected shifts in the workplace, or your health could come up that you may have to revisit, or just a health issue may come up that you have to revisit for whatever reason. There could also be issues and miscommunications in relationships and in work relationships as well, because Mercury is going to be retrograding in Pisces, which is your opposite sign, which deals with your significant relationships, marriage, business partnerships, or just relationships that you've had in your life for a long time, whether they're romantic, friends, or whatever. And what I also feel for you guys this month, Virgo, is something unexpected could come up that shifts your day-to-day routine or schedule in some way, like I kind of mentioned already. But because of this could somehow change a belief you have or a worldview that you used to have. And then also you're going to have Mars in your 5th house of Capricorn. So there may be a lot of optimism, a lot of drive for creativity. Also your children may be super energetic or, kind of possibly confrontational around this time. And there could also be some power struggles with your children this month as well. So kind of beware of that. But those are the brief things that I'm seeing for you, Virgo. As always, we're going to go into more in your monthly reading. So I will see you there. Make sure you have your notifications turned on, and I will see you soon. What is going on, Libra? And let's go ahead and go over your basics for your February 2020 monthly prediction. So what I see happening for you guys, Libra, is that, or for us, I'm a Libra sun, but this is probably going to resonate more for your rising sign. So anyways, I see that there could be some unclear health and work issues that may not give you a clear answer right away. So there could be some weird health stuff that comes up and you're not really sure where it's coming from or how to pinpoint it. Or maybe you even go to a doctor and they diagnose something, but then it's kind of misdiagnosed somehow, or they don't communicate with you clearly, or just something to do with that because of this Mercury retrograde happening on Neptune in Pisces in your 6th house. So this is a lot of unclear health stuff coming up that needs to be reevaluated. You will figure it out by the end of the Mercury retrograde, so don't worry. It just may be a little bit frustrating at first, and there may be some miscommunications and some mishaps at first. This could also be some really unclear communication in your work life, or in your day-to-day life, in your day-to-day routines, or in the work environment. So make sure that you're kind of paying attention to that as well. There could also be unexpected expenses that come up this month to do with children, and there could also be power struggles or power dynamic issues, changes, stress, or irritation to do with family or the home life. Or even property, possessions, and relationships. Okay, so make sure you're watching out for that. Try not to rush through anything. If you are getting like super frustrated with people, try to just take time to yourself. Make sure you're getting plenty of rest with that Mercury and Neptune happening in your 6th house. Make sure you're getting plenty of rest, taking plenty of time for yourself. Make sure you're doing some kind of creative hobby during the day, every day if you can, honestly, or some kind of spiritual practice every day with Pisces there. Something that makes you feel connected spiritually would really help you in your day-to-day life and in your routine, and it would help calm down that stress that you may be feeling in the home place, okay? You may be the one feeling like you need to take charge in a situation because Venus is in your 7th, but if not, then other people may exhibit that energy of like confrontation or being kind of like bossy or something in order to bring that energy out of you. Okay, so in order for it to help you assert yourself. Maybe there could be some restrictions or changes that you're trying to deal with within the home or family situations. Relationships from the past are very likely to come up this month. Rethinking what you do for work, your diet, and your work relationships could also be a theme this month. And then also unexpected intimate relationships or changes with partners, finances, and shared resources could come up around this time. So those are the kind of basics that I am seeing for you guys, Libra. As always, we're going to go over it in way more detail in your monthly reading. So I will see you then. Make sure you have your notifications turned on so you don't miss out when I upload your reading. And we're going to move on to Scorpio. What is going on, my lovely Scorpions? And let's go over your brief February 2020 predictions. So what I see happening for you guys this month in February, Scorpio, is you're going to be really rethinking and reevaluating your skills, hobbies, and what you do for pleasure, entertainment, and self-expression or creativity. Also, the way you communicate in your creative expression. All these themes are going to really be at the forefront for you in February. It's not a good month to gamble or take any big risk when it comes to entertainment or pleasure, which is why I'm saying gambling. But even if so, maybe you're just like wanting to buy like a really nice car out of the blue. It's just not a good month for that because of the astrology and the Mercury retrograde, because whatever happens, you may come to end up regretting it, or it may not be what it seemed like it was. There could be some unexpected shifts with a partner or even a family member that may affect the family or family dynamic or home life in some way. You may want to work on health, body, or maybe you're wanting to bring more creativity into the workplace. Your ideas or self-expression and skills may get into conflict with your everyday routines, your job, or your fellow co-workers. Okay, so maybe you have like this desire, this vision, or these skills that you want to incorporate, but you're not getting to use them somehow, or other people aren't taking them seriously for some reason, or questioning your skills for some reason at work. But it's not a good month for contracts or paperwork, especially. You really want to pay attention the first couple weeks in February, because that's going to preview what the Mercury retrograde is going to be about for you. It starts on the 16th, and I think it ends sometime in mid-March. So you really want to pay attention around those first couple weeks to get a preview of what is going to come back up during the retrograde. Yeah, like I said, not a good month for contracts or filling out paperwork if you can help it. It may look really, really good, but it may look better than it is. So kind of keep that in mind. There could also be some misunderstandings to do with your children that come up this month as well. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Scorpio. As always, we're going to go over it a lot more in depth in your February 2020 reading. And if you haven't seen my 2020 predictions video for each zodiac sign already, I would go watch that as well to see what big themes are coming for you in 2020 in general. And we're going to move on to Sagittarius. What is going on, my lovely Sagittarians? And we are going to go over your February 2020 brief overview. So what I see here for you guys in February 2020 Sagittarius is possibly some unexpected shifts in the workplace or with your daily routines. There could be misunderstandings or even miscommunications in the workplace, or possibly with children as well, and with family as well. So I definitely see you guys reevaluating or having to go back and redo do something with the family here, or with family members, or something to do with home, okay? Because that's where Mercury is retrograding at for you. So your skills, your self-expression, something in your day-to-day life or routine could shift as well. But I kind of see you guys really wanting more money or more control over your money or your possessions, or maybe there's something that you would like to own or something that you would like to have for yourself, like more independence maybe in some way, but you may feel restricted when it comes to what you own or have achieved. Like you may feel lack, or you may feel like you haven't achieved what it is that you want to in some way. So maybe there's like a possibility where this month you're like really wanting to afford something, and so you try to rush and achieve it, or you really want something, so you try to rush and achieve it, and that could end up backfiring just because this energy with the Mercury retrograde and with Mars, it's just not a good energy to like fly off the handle and take any big risk. So try to take it easy on yourself, try to take it slow. It may feel like you like really need this one thing like ASAP this month, but really kind of try to reevaluate it as much as you can, okay? Try to really think about it as much as you can before you fly off the handle. So yeah, your income, possessions, or values could be in conflict with your desires and what you want, or somehow your family could be kind of getting in your business in some way, or making you feel like you're misunderstood in some way. So yeah, not a great month for contracts either, but those are the basic things I'm seeing for you guys right now, Sag, and as always, we will go over it way more in depth in your February 2020 reading. So we are going to move on to Capricorn. What is going on, my lovely Capricorns? Thank you guys so much for your support on my videos, really, period, but especially last month's video. I really appreciate it. So let's go over the basics that are happening for you guys this month, and as always, I will do a dedicated video just for your sign where we go over a lot more in depth, and where we pull cards as well. So what I see for you guys happening in February, Capricorn, is you may feel ready to take action and do it quickly. You may feel ready to like really accomplish something very quick, very fast. You're ready to like speed things up, but what you want in terms of the long term, in terms of your goals and your foundations and family, may be a little bit at conflict here if you're trying to go too fast, okay? So with Mars in your sign, you're like basically ready to be the warrior. You're ready to like fight your way to the top of the mountain, right? But or you may feel like you're like others are stepping on you, or that you're not being heard in some way, with Mercury retrograding in your third house of communication and self-expression. So maybe you feel like you're not being or people may feel like maybe you're not being all the way forthcoming, or just having difficulty understanding your motives, but maybe you feel like they're just not understanding you. So you may be a little bit on edge, you may be a little bit irritated, or a little too bossy or too pushy when it comes to your family, or it could be vice versa. And if that is the case, then this is a sign that you need to assert yourself. But yeah, you need to be careful that you are not overstepping your own sense of values and worth, or boundaries, or even other people's boundaries, just because you're feeling pressure to complete something or achieve something quickly, okay? So breathe. Just try to breathe this month. I know. Just try to breathe and try to take action the most efficient way possible. Kind of be like the Knight of Pentacles, right? Like slow and steady, but gets the job done, okay? And I know that's going to be hard with Mars in your sign, so just try to not stress about it. Whatever fear of lack that you have coming up, try to address it head on, instead of feeling like you have to overcompensate for it, or feeling like you have to fix it or force it or control it, you know what I mean? So you may be feeling like you have to have like you're having a little bit more control issues than normal. Do it the right way, and then you will see true long-lasting change come, okay? I feel like this is somewhat of a little bit of a test for you guys. I know you guys have been through the ringer. I know, I get it. And we're getting there. Just, it's definitely better than last month in my opinion. It's just kind of, and there's also going to be a sense of optimism, like a lot of optimism and a lot of energy, which I think is good for you. But it may run you into a little bit of some power struggles where you feel like you're being held back in some way with Saturn still there. And with Pluto there, it's asking you to change something. It's asking you to change the way that you're going about it. It's asking you to transform the way that you're going about the situation. And then through that, you will be transformed, okay? Yeah, just try not to rush or force anything that's not already happening. It will happen the way it's supposed to. So just try to really remember that this month, because I really feel that this is really all about you more than it is other people. Other than family, there may be some family vibes that come up this month, but likely it's going to be you that's like wanting to get shit done, you know what I mean? So just try to pay attention to that and just breathe and relax. And you know, if you catch yourself wanting to rush things or being on edge, give yourself space, make space for yourself to remove yourself from the situation and breathe and ask yourself why you feel like you have to rush this or that, etc. So that is, well, Mercury is retrograding in your third house, so this is going to bring up a lot of miscommunications with people, okay? So you need to make sure you're double checking your schedule, you're double checking your emails, your texts, your phone calls, the things that you're saying. Not a great month to sign anything, especially with Mercury retrograde in your third house on top of Neptune. Not a great month to sign anything if you can help it. But yeah, that is what I'm seeing for you guys, Capricorn, and we will talk way more about it in the monthly reading. So I love you guys, and that is basically all for this video. I will see you guys in the monthly readings. Bye.